everybody, and welcome. Thank you for purchasing the Mama Resh's gluten-free pumpkin spice cake and muffin mix. What we're going to do today is I'm going to run you through a little tutorial on how to make it. So let's get started. So the first thing that we're going to do is gather all of our ingredients, which for time purposes I've already measured out. So you're going to need 3/4 cup of shortening. Now I use palm shortening, so just keep in mind if you want to taste it like you used to taste in my bakery, you're going to want to use palm shortening. You can use any other type of shortening you want, but it may not give you the same flavor. We got 3 eggs, we got a tablespoon of vanilla, and a 1/3 cup of pumpkin puree. So the first thing that I do when I get started, especially when you're working with shortening and we're getting into kind of the colder months, is I go ahead and I put that in the stand mixer, and I am going to go ahead and warm that up. That just helps it get more dissolved and better incorporated when we add all the other ingredients. So you just do that for just a few minutes. Then what we're going to do is we're going to add our other ingredients here. So we're going to add our 3 eggs. And obviously all these directions are on the back of the packages, so you can follow along with me. So I'm going to kind of move kind of fast. I just want you guys to kind of get the gist of it, so it's not quite so intimidating baking all this at home. And then we've got a tablespoon of vanilla. And then we've got a 1/3 cup of pumpkin puree. Now I use organic pumpkin puree. You can use whatever you want. Just buy it at the grocery store, so it's whatever you prefer. Okay, so we've got that in there. Now we're gonna mix this up really well. I like to do my wet first and then add my dry. That way it just is always definitely very incorporated. So this doesn't take very long. You have to scrape the sides a couple different times to kind of get the shortening and the eggs and everything else in the pumpkin puree incorporated here. Grab this bag, we're going to use this. So now that you've gotten your shortening and your puree and your eggs and your vanilla kind of incorporated, you're just going to take next, you're going to put the whole thing in. Okay, set that back up there like that. Oh, not going to stay up there. So we'll set that right here. Okay, and the other thing you need is 1.5 cups of really hot water. So I already have that measured out. So we're going to start that, and I'm going to do it on low initially. So what you're going to want to do is you're just going to want to gradually add that in. Okay? Get it all mixed in. So one of the most important things with all the mixes is make sure you mix them long enough, okay? To make sure everything is incorporated. It's probably one of the #1 things why mixes that you bring home from the store and bake at home don't work, is they're just not incorporated or mixed long enough. So you definitely need a good 2 minutes, and it's a long time. It seems like a long time when you're doing it. So once I have that in there, we're going to scrape down the sides again. I do this a couple different times just to make sure everything's incorporated. Okay. Now it looks pretty good. Put this down, and we're going to do this for like 2 minutes on high. Okay? Medium, high, high. You just want to make sure it's nice and creamy and smooth. So you don't want any chunks of shortening in there because we're using shortening. So you got to make sure it's really, really well incorporated. So I've already gone ahead and lined my cupcake pan. So we're just going to wait for this to mix really well, and then we'll scoop it out. So we've got that all mixed up. What we're going to do next is we're going to scoop it out. I go and I buy like a cookie scoop, and you can call it a cake scoop, but most of the time they're called cookie scoops. This is like an 1.5 to 2 inch cookie scoop, and then that way your cupcakes are always even. Okay, so it's just something that I've always used. So we're just going to scoop that in there. This will make 24 to 36 cupcakes. It'll make 2 9-inch round cakes. 1 9 by 13. You can also use this for muffins. So I use the same batter for my cupcakes as I do for my muffins. So if you want muffins, you can do this size and not put frosting on them later, and just be muffins, maybe a little glaze on them. Or you can use the bigger muffins, muffin tins, and make great big muffins, like for a breakfast muffin. All right, so we've already preheated our oven to 350 degrees. Now with any of these products, you're gonna have to test them with a toothpick. Okay, so you're supposed to bake your cupcakes anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes. I put the other times on the back of the packaging for you, but you're just gonna have to, I would err on the shorter amount of time and use a toothpick versus overcooking it and drying out your products, okay? So everything is different. So we will scoop all these out, and then voila, did this earlier. So we've got our cupcakes. I also made up a batch of our pumpkin spice frosting, which you can also purchase. So it's our frosting and glaze mix. So it's just a basic frosting and glaze mix, and then I also put the recipe on the back of that for pumpkin spice, for both the glaze and for the frosting on your cupcakes or cakes. So just top it off here, or whatever frosting or topping that you'd want to use on it. But I do offer that with the frosting and glaze mix. And there you have it. So you got your pumpkin spice cupcakes. Thank you. Have a great day.